haven't y'all tried Miracle Food yet?
Miracle food.
Mega food.
Miracle Foods.
Miracle food.
Miracle food.
Miracle food.
Miracle food.
Miracle food.
Please support your Black businesses and support your health. This is a tool to genuinely heal people. It's through the roof. I feel like I'm low-key levitating in this bitch. This should be in your cabinet.
It's Mike Ross, also known as Mike on the Mic. He's getting ready for his upcoming 2022 comedy run. He'll be kicking it off at Bitty Brand's Stress Factory Comedy Club. Caroline's on Broadway. Punchline Philly. You don't want to miss him take the stage at the DC Improv. Then he'll be coming to the Atlanta Improv and at Chocolate Sundays Comedy Show in Los Angeles, California.
It's Mike on the Mic. Looking forward to seeing you there.
I think it's fair to say that you were one of the first hip hop artist acts to really make money in music. Anybody we've talked to in hip hop often says there's not a lot of money in hip hop, and we've heard stories about obviously things that go on. When you started No Limit and you started on that journey to be independent in particular, how did you know that that was the way to go as opposed to going the traditional route and trying to find a label and go through there and do what the traditional hip hop artists did? How did you know that that was the formula to get real money in hip hop?
All right, when I look at it, the situation is still the same than when I first got into the music industry. I looked at how many African-American CEOs do they have of companies, Fortune 500 companies, and it was a tenth of 1%, and it's the same today. And I wanted to make a change, and I wanted to show people if I could do it, they could do it. I wanted to be thousands of me. And looking at that, that's the only way we're going to change the narrative to better ourselves is put more people that look like us into these companies. And at that time, music probably was one of the biggest ways to create a brand. And people look like us was putting out songs, but nobody was really getting the revenue that they deserve off these projects they was putting out. I mean, artists are still crying today. They was crying back in the days that their deals wasn't right. Now I'm like, okay, so why go be another artist instead of turning this into an empire and creating your own company? I always was taught that if you don't like the boss, then you need to go be your own boss. You need to go start your own thing. And that's what I did. I just thought that it wasn't enough African-American minority-owned record companies. And that was the reason why we wasn't benefiting, because none of us owned it. And I wanted to change that narrative.
Right. So you walk in, I don't know if it's not priority, but you meet with Jimmy Iovine.
Yes, sir.
He puts a deal on the table.
Mm-hmm.
He tells you if you don't sign this deal, that you'll never get a deal in this city again. You leave, you with Corey Miller. He tells you to sign the deal. I think it's for $1 million. But you walk away from that deal with $500 in your pocket.
Yeah.
What made you walk away? Say, you know what? I'm gonna do this by myself, because if I take this money, I'm pretty much gonna end up a slave to the record label.
Yeah. So my grandfather taught me no deal is too big to walk away from. There's no deal in the world. Success, money, fame is temporary. He always told me that. And I just believe that. I mean, also I think me going to college, I was able to read the deal and see what it was. When you look at right now, and I want to go to fast forward now, look at Atlantic Record.
Yeah.
Mike Carrington then did the biggest deal, and he's never performed, never did anything. Mm-hmm. It's a white guy that learned the industry from us. He's the only person that came to me to seek information about the music industry. Mm-hmm. Now, all the other people that we know that's successful, whatever, nobody never came and asked me for advice to educate themselves on how to do this. This guy came to me maybe 9 years ago and said, how do you do this, this, this? And he was going to do this. And he asked me that I wanted to be a part of it. I said, nah, man, I'm done with the music industry. But I'm telling you, if you go and put the work in, you can create your own distribution, your own label. And this guy went and did it. I mean, he signed all these major acts and went cashed out with Atlantic Records 8 years later and got $255 million. Now you show me whatever top artist on the Billboard charts right now in 8 years made $255 million and then went back and been the president of the company. So we have to start thinking outside just our talent. That's why I say product outweighs talent. Like if you really invest, if any of these other guys would have came to me as a consultant or whatever and say, Pete, help me on this journey. And you know, I don't have no money right now, but I'll give you 5 or 10%. I'd have been ready to do it. Our culture don't think that we need people. Like, why would you think that somebody been through this for you? I know all the secrets. I could show you that. But I just think this generation just don't get that. And this guy was able to get it. Look what he's doing now. And he's getting a check from the company to help run the company. And so I think, but that didn't happen with talent. And then he went sold the artist back to the label. And that's how he cashed out. So you have to know when to cash out. I think this generation, they only think, let's go get a check from these record companies. I'm saying, no, let's go create opportunity to where we could pass out the checks. And that's the difference. That's the only way we're going to build economic empowerment. And I just think that when we open our eyes up and we have the power, when we at the highest level of our talent, that these companies want to do business with us if we go with the right language, go with the right paperwork, and have the right plan and have the right strategy. These guys are going to open their wallets up to us. And I think that we only think that we only can make money in the music industry. I haven't made the type of money I make in the music industry for over 20 years, but I was able to be successful by creating other multi-revenue streams. And I think that's the key to success. We can't just do things one way no more. Because I'm from New Orleans. Once the hurricane come and that wash away, or you get older or whatever, then what? What do you do? Mm-hmm. You got to ask yourself that. Like, and that's what I did even when I was younger. When I had that record store, I was always coming up with other ways to make revenue outside of the music business. I created dolls. I created clothing lines. You know, I created all these other different things, other business, got into the movie side of the business. So I started thinking outside the box, and I want other young people to think like that, not just walk into these record companies and say, I'm going to sell my talent to you. Then what? Okay, what's your outgo? Because, you know, everybody say, go get the check from the record company. I'm saying, nah, go create the opportunity, and then you create the check, and then you can help other people around you. And that's the way we have to think. But it's hard for us to think that way because now people want to get into the music business and be pampered. I'm the only person that got into the music business that sold 100 million records and haven't been pampered. I could pamper myself. That's almost like saying, oh, you want a Super Bowl ring or you want to make $500 million. And we could get you the Super Bowl ring and you're only going to make $500,000. Mm-hmm. That don't make sense. You could go buy your Super Bowl ring. And so that's what I want to teach to this culture. And that's why, you know, I talk about the book, Never Go Broke. That's why it's so important.
To introduce the show, when I sent this to Sam, asked, oh God, that nigga said, oh God, you the man, Cass. I spit white like a clan mask, and I'm a hustler. I could stand out on the beach and sell sandbags. Some things can't last, but this ain't just a podcast. This is Sam Ant and oh God, Cass. Hip hop uncensored is the vibe, so subscribe. Hip hop uncensored is the vibe, so subscribe. Oh God, driving Sam and riding passenger side, and you heard it out the mouth of the greatest rapper alive. Hip hop uncensored is the vibe, so subscribe. Hip hop uncensored is the vibe, so subscribe. Oh God, driving Sam and riding passenger side, and you heard it out the mouth of the greatest rapper alive. Go gang.